As always, I'm grateful to serve as chair, Dr. David Falconley. Also, going along with our agenda, I will certainly acknowledge the commissioners who are in this space. So Commissioner Millen, good morning. Commissioner Snowden, good morning. Commissioner Hughes, good morning. Hope you're feeling better. Commissioner Baker, good morning. Commissioner Stevenson, good to see you. Welcome back. Good morning. Commissioner Armenti, good morning. Commissioner Coles, good morning. Commissioner Creary, good morning. Commissioner Parker, who just joined, good morning. Commissioner Davidson, good morning. Commissioner Dupree Wilson, good morning. And certainly to our staff, Sophie, good morning. Trish, good morning. Hannah, good morning. We're thankful for you all. So moving along with our agenda, we have the approval of last month's meeting minutes. I don't think they are complete at this moment, so we will just table that approval, and they should be done by our next meeting in January. So moving along with our agenda.
Chair, I just want to flag they are complete. They're in your inbox.
They are.
You'll just have to circulate to the commissioners.
Okay, if you could do that for us, please, that'd be greatly appreciated. And then we can circle back to that later in the meeting. Thank you for that, Trish. I appreciate the update.
No problem.
Yep. So, commissioners, please be on the lookout for last month's minutes so that we can go ahead and approve that while we are here. My comments are very brief. I'll just say again, thank you all for being here. Thank you to those who contributed to a meaningful hearing on Saturday for Queen Anne's and Caroline County. It was well attended by the public. Certainly wish we had more commissioners who were there to attend in person, but nevertheless, it was, again, a meaningful experience. Those who spoke powerfully. I think their truth was well resonated within the space. And again, we know that the hearings are the highlight of what we do as a commission. So anytime we get to bring it to manifestation is always a great thing. So again, to all those who contributed, you know who you are. I appreciate you very, very much. And certainly the work speaks for itself. So at this time, going along with our agenda, to members of the public, those who are here, thank you again for joining us, being a part of this journey. If you want to introduce yourselves in the chat, you may do so. We ask that you give your name, any affiliations that you would like us to recognize. And again, very grateful for your presence here. Moving along with the agenda, I make space for any committee reports that would want to be shared at this time. So research, logistics, reconciliation, justice, whoever would like to go first. There's no order. You may self-select.
I'm happy to jump in with logistics. The committee last met in October. I canceled the November meeting given the busy schedule, the hearing schedule over October and November. However, we did collect feedback from commissioners who were served on the logistics committee. I requested if they had any feedback, as well as we had debriefing meetings with local stakeholders for both the Hartford-Cecil County hearing as well and the Southern County hearing with St. Mary's, Calvert, and Charles counties. So that feedback continues to inform future hearings in positive and dynamic ways. Our next meeting is this coming Monday, a week from today, December 16th at 3 p.m. And all are welcome. I want to continue to express appreciation to Commissioner Baker for continuing to support marketing efforts by developing and creating flyers. And she is posting on her professional LinkedIn page. So if you have a LinkedIn account, I recommend ask that you all grab her postings and share it on your own personal and professional platforms. In addition, I've been sending out the press release, the flyer, and the social media toolkit in advance of every hearing so that you can grab that material yourself and initiate postings. I also want to extend appreciation to the counselors at Living and Growing. Their continued presence at the hearings has been really impactful as they talk with folks attending the hearings, talk to commissioners, and really are keeping sort of aware of the vibe and pulse, as my new professional expression of the day, of any given hearing, and each unique dynamics that might be coming up. So I appreciate them. Thank you, Caitlin. I see you there. You could pass along our appreciation. Recent hearings on November 16th, as I mentioned, was St. Mary's, Calvert, and Charles County. The commissioner, the lead commissioner liaison was Commissioner Coles. It was a very strong hearing, and I want to also just reflect on the public comment period was really engaging, and it was not just about questions, it was also about making connections amongst the different attendees. And I think that was a really strong piece of it. That's just one of the many strong pieces. December 7th, just this past Saturday in Chestertown, we held the Kent, Caroline, and Queen Anne County hearing. And the lead commissioner liaison for that was Commissioner Hughes. And that was included 5 known lynchings plus an additional victim that was not extrajudicial, but also, still had carried some of the similar themes and interesting points. So we really had 6 narratives. It was a robust history, several descendants, and again, the public comment section offered a variety of opinions and reflections. And so that's always good for us to hear. I do want to extend I echo what Chair Fakunle just said. Attendance is really important. Our local stakeholders, our local partners are looking for commissioners to be in attendance. And we have 3 county hearings left. And it's important that we attend. So mark your calendars. January 11th, Howard County. It'll be held in Columbia, Maryland at the Harriet Tubman Cultural Center. January 25th, Prince George's County at Bowie State University in the Student Center. February 1st, Carroll County. This will be held in Westminster. We should be getting confirmation of the venue tomorrow, so I don't want to say it out loud right now. All this information is on the website. And then there'll be an institutional and reconciliation hearing, and I will let Commissioner Creary talk to that during his time. So just to close up, our next meeting is a week from today, December 16th at 3 p.m. And we'll be thinking about these more recent hearings and then talking about the upcoming ones. Thank you. If there's any questions.
Commissioner Hughes, I see your hand.
Yep.
Yeah, this isn't a question, more of a comment. Not having organized one of these before, I had no idea I should have expected it, but all of the last minute adjustments, that have to be made as the hearing approaches and conditions change. So I just wanted to express my appreciation to the staff, to Trish, to Amy, for, being able to really turn on a dime to solve problems and make sure the hearing comes off, without a hitch, because it's just, how these public events go, but certainly appreciate their support as we carry these out.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Hughes. And I did neglect a huge appreciation, and that's to Trish Floyd. She is really, I think I sent rapid fire emails all day long on Thursday, kept saying there's another change. And without missing a beat, Trish was able to just, it's fine. We got it. It's all good. And changes are even occurring in the hearing. And so if you are a liaison for an upcoming hearing, this is normal. But it is a lot. And I appreciate, Trish, your support and, calmness throughout all of it.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Millen. Commissioner Creary, would you like to go next, or
Those since I was invoked. Yeah, the Reconciliation Committee met on Friday, this past Friday, December 6th. And let me see. Oh, good Lord, I can't get to my notes here. Hold on one moment. There we go. Yeah, we talked very briefly initially about the final report writer, an update, and I suppose we can bring this up more broadly, but the selection committee made a choice, made a recommendation of a firm to work with us on that. I believe the Attorney General's office staff are working to draw up the contract and to get 3PV on board. But I'm excited to have them, come on and start the conversations that we're going to need to get them up to speed so that they can start sorting through all of the really impressive data that the research committee, Heritage Associates have developed, and as well as recommendations that the Reconciliation Committee has been working on. With regard to the institutional hearing, we had initially planned to have it on February 8th, but as we continued our conversations and looking at what we would need to do to get the witnesses that we would like to have provide expert testimony, as well as various representatives of entities such as from the legal system or from media outlets, we're going to need more time to get this done if we want to actually give them enough time to prepare testimony. So we are looking at pushing the reconciliation institutional hearing back to April. As of right now, it looks like we have a tentative date of April 12th. We're waiting to hear back from one or two places, but it looks like we do have an open invitation and availability from St. John's College in Annapolis. We're looking at a couple of other places, but that will be, stay tuned, because we'll be hopefully locking that down sooner than later. And then the other things that we worked on were, and again, sort of dealing with, was putting together, in addition to the list of witnesses, but starting to put together, a series of recommendations, preliminary recommendations. We've broken them down into 4 categories, specifically symbolic reparations, material reparations, reparations dealing specifically with African Americans, and more policy-related issues. If you would like to see that, please, just put your email in the chat, and I can, send you, so that you can access it to see what we're looking at thus far. And again, I'm happy to take any suggestions or ideas for recommendations and reparations that you have. This is supposed to be a very inclusive process, and I want that to be. It shouldn't just be coming from my fevered brain or just the other folks on the on the committee. So that's about where we are. I'm happy to take your questions, comments, and or criticisms.
Thank you, Commissioner Curry. So my immediate thought, given the pushback, is understanding your, I think, particular encouragement that we get the final report started as soon as possible. You must feel, we'll say, okay with the push to April, despite that kind of recommendation.
Yes, there was a lot of concern expressed about pushing it back, but we ultimately decided that that doesn't mean that 3PV can't get started just given the history side of it, the truth side, if you will, there is more than plenty of material for them to get started on that first part of the report. The case studies of all of the 38 known cases that we have, so we can prepare for the reconciliation committee hearing. We can have that in April, and they will still have plenty of work to keep them busy and keep them going, prior to the actual hearing itself. And then they would then still have plenty of time to go through the recommendations that were made, either coming from the commission, coming from the public, but then and the experts at the hearing. So yeah, we felt that we could continue this, push it back, and still have the process continue, hopefully, without too much, difficulty.
Okay. No, thank you for that. Sophie, did I see your hand? Yeah.
Yes. I just wanted to give an update. The contract has been executed with the report writer, so I can send an email. Nick, do you want me to copy you in the introduction email?
Oh, that would be wonderful. Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'll do that after the meeting.
Great.
All right, thank you both. Commissioner Armenti, any updates that you have on behalf of the research committee?
Yes, so the research committee met on December 2nd, which was last Monday. Much of the conversation had been around the upcoming hearing for December 7th and making sure that as much material as possible was prepared and shared related to the individuals that were being remembered there. So that will kind of continue to be the model of the research committee, is to be responsive and prioritize research based on the hearings that are upcoming. And again, preparing not just research committee members, but the full commission with all of the primary sources, as well as case study profiles that have been prepared by Heritage Associates. So for those internal to the commission, that will continue to be Google Drive as the most efficient access point. So if you see those updates and you have any access issues, permission issues related to the Google Drive, please alert myself or co-chair or vice chair Chavis as administrators of the Google Drive, because we want to make sure that everybody can get to what they need to understand fully what we're talking about as best as possible. So I would say that that's probably the main thrust of the meeting last week. And, for those that are commissioners as well as liaisons working with coalitions, most know that a good amount of energy is being put toward genealogical profiles as well, which necessarily requires a lot of collaboration, both on the research side, but also with those potential family members. So Heritage Associates continues to be our initial outreach mechanism, often working through platforms such as Ancestry, but also using email. But again, want to let, especially folks that are working with specific regions as liaison commissioners, that they can play a role in that research process as well, and making sure that we're connecting with the right people and being sensitive to how we have outreach to folks. So I want to thank Caitlin from Living and Growing as well for joining the research committee meeting, because, guidance around not just sensitivity and the emotion in the moment at hearings, but also just understanding and receiving information about, an ancestor that you may have never heard of before, can be trying for folks, and we're not always getting the feedback and engagement that we might be hoping for. So just continuing to revise that process and being aware of the various components that can go into it. And then to kind of wrap this section, I do want to state for the record that I am stepping down as the chair of the research committee. So I think many folks here may know that, but for those that don't, making that clear here, I will continue to serve as a commissioner representing the former Maryland Historical Society, now Maryland Center for History and Culture, but largely due to capacity issues, I'm having to step back from that role. So I appreciate everybody that has supported and continues to support. And I will continue to remain as active as I can, but just not in that official capacity. So in the meantime, I would say that the coordination should go through the State Archive staff, Chris Haley and Hannah Lane, who can kind of field questions and be that connection to the research committee. So as well as the MLTRC email. So yeah, thank you all for that. But I'll conclude my section with that. And again, we'll continue to stay involved and support collaboration as much as I can.
But thank you, Commissioner Armenti, for that. But most importantly, for all the incredible work that you've done in your role as chair. We certainly understand that, we put in the effort, we put in the work, especially when it comes to gathering this information. So your leadership has been greatly appreciated, and your continued support is just as appreciated. So again, thank you for all that you've done in that capacity. And I'll use this opportunity to serve as a call to our commissioners, those that are based in research, those that are interested in research. We certainly can strengthen our capacity in that regard. Commissioner Armenti laid out some opportunities, even as we prepare for upcoming hearings, where that research portion can be strengthened. So please take it upon yourselves to connect with the research committee to see how you can best be involved, and let's continue to tell as full a story as we can. So thank you all in advance for that. All right, moving along with our agenda, we can just continue the conversation that Commissioner Millen kind of uplifted with our past two hearings, just to make space for any feedback, any thoughts, teachable moments, reflections on the hearing on November 16th, as well as the one from this past Saturday, December 7th. So if anybody has anything that they would like to share in that regard, whether you attended in person or viewed it virtually, the floor is open.
I would just like to echo Amy's sentiment in regards to the last two hearings. There was so much engagement during the comment portion for our hearing that was held prior to December 7th. And then on the December 7th hearing, Lakia and Hess did a really great job. Hess especially with sharing a poem during her comment period. And I'm not sure if she's on the call right now, but both of the hearings were very touching. I received a lot of great positive feedback from community members who felt very empowered with the information and then what they could do for steps moving forward. So just wanted to share those sentiments.
Thank you for that, Trish. And I'm glad that you heard that from the people. I heard good things from anyone who connected with me afterwards, and that's always an affirming thing. And I agree, the comment section was very lively, which is what we want. We want to hear the perspectives of people, as long as they're respectful, right? We want to hear their thoughts, and we definitely got that at the last hearing that I was able to attend on December 7th. And a lot to learn and a lot to, I think, contextualize for people. So one of the things that really came out of the last hearing for me, which I think we've emphasized to various degrees at the other hearings, is the larger scope that we as a commission understand that we're navigating. While the initial focus may be on racial terror lynchings because that is the charge of the commission, we understand that this operates within a larger ecosystem of oppression and racial terrorism that we aren't naive to. And it's just the extent to which we can make those connections so that the people understand that we aren't pigeonholing ourselves when it comes to the scope of this history, but there is what we are charged to do. And part of the latitude that we do have to some extent is that we can talk about the bigger picture, and our work can speak to the bigger picture as much as it speaks to the legacy of racial terror lynchings themselves. Commissioner Creary, I see your hand.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, the other thing that I noticed actually in both of the hearings, particularly in the public comment sections, a lot of recommendations for what people would like to see happen. I mean, years and years ago, as a student in a social justice class, somebody once told me, to express a complaint is to imply a hope or a desire or an end goal. And I think there was a lot of that. And so, I will certainly be looking over the transcripts of those hearings very closely, because I think there's an awful lot that Reconciliation Committee can glean to add to the growing data that we have of recommendations. And so I think these were particularly powerful instances of community input and making suggestions for reparations.
Absolutely. I know Commissioner Millen and I spoke to that very briefly after the hearing. That's what came out to us was across the hearings that I've participated in, I think the number one recommendation from the people has been education. People need to know the story, point blank, period. Number two would be reparations, right? And then it just gets into the nuances of what kind of reparations we're discussing. And I'm glad to see that at least at subsequent hearings, there has been that nuance reflected in what the reparations should be. So this push away from just give, Black folks a big sum of money and call it a day. No, we know that it's much more holistic, or should be more holistic than that. So I was very encouraged by that, and we'll definitely reiterate what Trish said about Hess's piece. I told Hess then that I would want her to record that piece, because to me, that is by far the best eloquence to bringing people into the space of their testimony, recognizing that not all descendants are descendants of victims. They are descendants of communities. They are descendants of the history, and there is a space for their story to be told. And to me, work smart, not hard. I think that can easily be implemented into our protocol for the hearings as just a way to set the tone. And so that was definitely another thing that really stuck out to me during the past hearing. Any other thoughts?
Chair, I would just say to your point that John Queen definitely provided some suggestions for reconciliation that was not something that we have commonly heard in hearings. So I do just want to uplift that. I do think people are doing their research, they're digging deep to see how this work can be impactful, and they're sharing those ideas. And John Queens definitely did stand out for that during this hearing, at least.
No doubt. I second that as well. Thank you for that, Trish. Any other thoughts on the past couple of hearings that we've had?
So a few things coming to mind for me, and again, apologies, I was not able to attend this past Saturday, but of those that I've attended, I know education was mentioned, and education is a big category that can go in a lot of different directions. We have a lot of different educators and institutions represented in our commission, but one distinct thing that I've noticed, and I am a practitioner of, is professional development for teachers. And I think that kind of refrain has come through too, that teachers need to know this information, but they also need to know what to do with it and how to navigate these obviously very challenging topics. And it's not just because people don't want to or because they don't understand it. It's that they understandably have misgivings about bringing it in, especially in the current times that we're in, where teachers can have retribution or criticism of them for even talking about certain things. So I think, again, kind of recognizing our responsibility and role and in equipping educators is really important. But also recognize, and many of us attended the opening of the Reginald F. Lewis's new exhibition. So what are the assets? What are the community assets that we have at museums, through universities? Because we can't just expect everybody to go to the website to find this information. How can we kind of connect all of those resources in a way that's really responsive to what the community and the education community in particular might need? So I think that's something we need to obviously take to heart, and there is practical infrastructure in place to really push some of those goals forward for that community.
Well, thank you for that, Commissioner Armentia. And very quickly, I thank you for uplifting the new exhibit at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum. And I will also uplift the exhibit on lynching at the National Great Blacks in Wax Museum, which has been around for quite a while. So to your point about the infrastructure by which we can disseminate the work of the commission in ways that are accessible, right? And I appreciate you bringing up the part about retribution. That's just the reality of the situation, that people have to, particularly educators, have to be careful about what they teach out of caution, right, out of safety. And so where we can find these safe spaces where the history can be told truthfully, but also can be accessible and perhaps connected in some way to educational spaces, I think is very critical and something we should explore with intentionality.
I would just echo that. We did have several superintendents actually at this hearing, along with other elected officials. And one of the superintendents by the name of Mary did go up. And what she continuously stated was that I hear what you all are communicating. I hear this information, and that she does not take it lightly, and that she does pretty much feel, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but she feels the weight of the responsibility to teach children this history. So that was something that was lifted up at this hearing, and that was a very powerful statement for her to make as a superintendent in that county. So just wanted to lift that up.
No, thank you for doing that, because you're right. She didn't have to. She did it of her own volition, and that recalls what I said after she stepped down: is we can hold each other accountable, right? Because we know that's an important part of this, is the accountability of those empowered to do what they say they're going to do. So I certainly honor, again, her willingness to speak, and I honor the people of her county to hold her accountable, to not just hear what people said that day, but to listen to what they said and to take the wisdom that they shared, because that's the point. So thank you for uplifting that, Trish. Any other thoughts, reflections on the past couple of hearings?
I just wanted to share some of the things that people are talking to myself and my colleagues about at Living and Growing, about wanting spaces to more informally process. And so I'm just having conversations with those people that are voicing that. Some are descendants, some are community members, some are organizers in the community. And so we are available and kind of trying to connect with those people who want to create either spaces for a specific cohort or something to open up to the wider community. So that's something that we're going to continue to be in conversation with individuals about.
No, thank you for that, Caitlin. Thank you for uplifting that. And we certainly understand the importance of having your own space for your own processing. So whatever way we as a commission can support that, we definitely want to. So thank you. Thank you for continuing those conversations. Any other reflections? All right, hearing none, seeing none, then we can turn our attention to any additional conversations in preparation for the hearing on January 11th. Again, that's for Howard County. The one thing I will say is, please let us know as soon as possible how you will attend, whether you can attend. Just to reiterate what I said and what Commissioner Millen said, we want to have as strong attendance as possible. So please only attend virtually if you have no other way to attend. If you have the capacity to join us in person, please do so. Commissioners and members of the public who are willing to join us on that day. If there's any other discussion that we need to have about the upcoming Howard County hearing, we can make space for that now.
I don't have anything more to add to that one.
Okay.
Yeah, things are moving along. We're getting very good cooperation with the local coalition, so I'm getting excited about it.
Well, that's good. Excitement's good. I appreciate that. Just want to uplift what Reverend Tyker just put in the chat, that Prince George's County wants to provide group process space at their hearing. So certainly we can make sure that that is coordinated with Living and Growing, so that people are aware of that process space. So thank you, Reverend Tyker, for that openness and thoughtfulness. Any other thoughts on the upcoming hearing? All right, hearing none, seeing none, then we can move on to announcements. Any announcements that people have? Any events? I know we're hitting the holiday season, so if you want to get your December stuff in now, it's probably your best time. Commissioner Creer, I see your hand.
Yes, actually, tomorrow at, I guess, 3:00 your time, we're going to be hosting a program talking about how we can protect students and families from the incoming administration. Again, we're not too far from Salinas, the vegetable basket of the country here, and so there are already, rumors that ICE is going to be targeting us. So I've got a panel happening with someone from the County Public Defender's Office as well as the County Civil Rights Office. It'll be from 3 to 4:30. I just dropped a link to the BIPOC Voices webpage. If you scroll down, you'll see the event listed, and just click on the registration. We'll send you the Zoom link, and I think it's tangential to what we're talking about here, but I think it is timely, and it is a tremendously important conversation, and so you are all welcome to join in that.
No doubt. Thank you, Commissioner Query. Appreciate that. Any other announcements? So, Commissioner Armenti, you put something. Do you want to speak to that very quickly about what you put in the chat?
Sure. So maybe even less tangential than what Dr. Creary shared, but an exhibition that will be exploring the use of AI and representation for African Americans at our museum. So a free event on December 18th. If anybody nearby is interested or available, please come by.
Maybe a little less tangential, but still important. So thank you for uplifting that. Appreciate you. Any other announcements? All right, hearing none, seeing none, then we are at the end of our agenda. So I will move that we close this meeting. And with that, I'll say thank you all, as always, for your commitment. Thank you all for your diligence. Happy holidays to you all, whichever holidays you celebrate. Just enjoy each other, be safe, find joy wherever you can, as best you can. And I will see y'all next month. All right. Take care. I appreciate you.